Middle East tensions have rattled one of aviation's most important transit hubs, disrupting airline networks across the Gulf and pushing fuel costs higher. IATA chief Willie Walsh says that Gulf carriers have responded strongly to the disruption. He spoke to CNA's Yasmin Jonkers on the sidelines of IATA's annual general meeting in Rio de Janeiro to discuss the outlook for the sector.
I expect the Gulf to regain its position once we see some stability. Most of the carriers there are operating reasonable levels of capacity at the moment, but it's clearly much more challenging for them given that they've had significant disruption to their networks and they're also having to face the increase in the oil price. But I don't believe that's a structural change.
Okay, but I guess this situation has exposed vulnerabilities in the hub and spoke model built around Gulf connectivity. How do you suppose these carriers in the Middle East are now adjusting?
Well, they've done, I think, a fantastic job. You've got to give them credit for getting back into operation as quickly as they did. I think most of them are operating in or around 80% of their schedules, which is, I think, a very strong performance given the disruption that they have faced. I don't think there's more that they could have done, to be honest with you. I think they responded quickly to the immediate threat that they faced. I think they've been very careful and cautious in reintroducing capacity into the market, and I think they've been excellent in looking after their customers, and that will stand to them. People will remember that they were looked after well, and that's the stories I get from people who were in the Gulf region when all of this started have generally been very positive towards the airlines there.
But for sure, the situation's caused the jet fuel prices to expect a jump of almost 70%, fuel rising to 31.4% off operating costs. And you say that airlines are now bearing the brunt of this fuel shock. How much more fare inflation can passengers realistically absorb?
I think what's very encouraging for us is that the research that we've done, which is very recent, shows that consumers understand that they're going to be facing higher prices as a result of the increase in the jet fuel price, and that they're, if you like, ready to pay those higher prices. Nobody wants to pay more, but they acknowledge that they're going to have to pay more and expect to pay more. And the fact that we're still forecasting growth, it's at a lower level, 2.1%. But if you strip out the negative impact of the Middle East carriers, we're actually looking at about 3.5% growth for carriers in other regions of the world, which is not bad in the environment we're operating in.